It is Thursday morning, and I am deciding whether I want to leave Lava Beds National Monument. And while I've been here, I watched the debate, and of course I am keeping up in politics and whatnot, but I've also been studying the Modoc War. The Modoc War happened here at Lava Beds National Monument. The Modoc natives were a very small, highly evolved group of indigenous people that inhabited this land for 6,000 years. Their population never exploded. It was kept right around 2,000 people, and they were kind of nomadic. They would move around the area to go where the food was, where the shelter was, etc. They had all of the resources they needed. They had Tule Lake that produced, waterfowl and fish for food. They had the Lava Beds National Monument that had many caves and whatnot. So there was a lot of natural resources for them to live and thrive here. I think it was in around the 1830s, the first gold rush settlers, or whatever you want to call pioneers, ended up in this area. And during that time, there was an extermination of the natives. They were trying to gather all the natives, either kill them or gather them and put them in reservations where they would die of disease and starvation, and there was no medical care in the reservations. I was just reading that the petroglyph point, they estimate those hieroglyphics or petroglyphics, whatever they are, to be between 45 and 2,600 years old. And they determined that because there was a drought that brought the water level down to the area where you see the petroglyphs. So what I'm driving on now, it all was a big, huge lake. So they imagined that people came here in canoes, and I was reading about the Modocs, that it was a rite of passage to come and make art on these cliffs. And so the Klamath tribe and the Modoc tribe that weren't really, they weren't the same tribe before the settlers came, they put them all together in a reservation. So it wasn't the ideal situation for the Modoc tribe. And so I think it was, I'm not sure about my numbers, but there was about 150 Modocs that left the reservation and came back to their homeland, which ended up being here at Lava Beds National Monument. And that was not okay with the U.S. Army. They wanted all the Native Americans to live on reservations. I should say to die on reservations. The Modocs were fierce in their desire to stay in their homeland, and living in the reservation wasn't an option for them. So they stayed here and fought off 600 U.S. soldiers before they finally succumbed after 5 months, where the leader of the Modoc tribe was executed for war crimes, which is kind of crazy because he was defending his territory. I'm looking at a huge hawk right now. Amazing. Just amazing. I might not have the dates correct. I might not have the facts correct. But what I do have correct was that the U.S. soldier and the white settlers and the Europeans came over here and called the Native Americans and indigenous people savages, redskins, and defamed them and made them seem like they weren't human, which enabled people to come in and exterminate them. They killed them and put them in reservations with no medical care and disease and starvation. And that was okay because these were savages. These were animals. They weren't human, even though they were probably more evolved than the Europeans, right? They had lived in this land for thousands of years, and the Europeans came in, they drained Lake Tule, to grow hay so that they could raise beef that wasn't environmentally friendly to this area. And they just destroyed the area. They completely destroyed the area. No one lives here now. It's like they kicked people off their land and then turned it into this national monument that nobody uses, really. I've been here by myself this whole trip. Watching the debate and watching Donald Trump tell people that the Haitians are eating pets and dogs and cats, and literally calling them savages in essence, dehumanizing the immigrants so that white settlers can kill them and not feel bad about it because they're just terrible people. They're just savages. These Haitians are legally in the country, right? It's a Haitian, and first of all, it's not true. And second of all, it's basically like calling them savages. And it just makes me hurt. It hurts me so much. The way that my race, my European history, my race has hurt so many people based on their skin tone. Anyway, when I studied grief, there's 5 gates to grief. That's the everything we love, we lose. We grieve the parts of ourselves that were never loved. We grieve the sorrows of the world. We grieve for unmet expectations, and we grieve for our ancestors. But there's a 6th gate of grief that isn't written in the book, and that is the harm we've done. And sometimes I think that that's my life's work, is to just grieve and recognize the harm that we've done to the earth, to the people that lived here before us. Anyway, this has been a really powerful week, and I just wanted to share that.